Hey everyone, so I am super excited because I am on to do my review of Godzilla vs. Kong, and if you have been watching my channel for a while now at least, you will know that I was super hyped and excited for this movie, and I was counting down the days. I reacted to every featurette, TV spot, teaser, trailer. I think aside from Warner Brothers, I hyped this movie the most. Straight off the bat, I absolutely had a fun ride watching this. It was absolutely fantastic, incredible. A lot of work went into this movie. It was directed, of course, by Adam Wingard, and he did a spectacular job. I would give this movie about a 7.5 out of 10. I was almost going to give it an 8, but I'm going to give it a 7.5, almost sort of kind of gearing towards the 8 out of 10. Now, what I loved is I'm actually Team Kong. I do love both Godzilla and Kong. I have both behind me. This is actually a silverback. My friend got me this and my other friend got me Godzilla. I love both characters, but I prefer Kong, and Kong Skull Island is actually my favourite movie out of this universe, even though I love the Godzilla 2014 version. I thought that was a fantastic movie. A lot of people say, the scenes were too dark and things like that, and I would to some degree agree with that. However, I actually quite like the dark grittiness to that. Also, I do love Godzilla King of the Monsters. The moment where all the monsters are bowing down to Godzilla, I thought that was a really epic moment. But Kong Skull Island is my favourite. So I loved how this movie started with the character Kong on Skull Island. It came up saying somewhere on Skull Island. And the movie actually ended as with Kong as well. So the movie started and ended with my favourite character. So straight off the bat, I loved that. Now, there was a song at the very beginning that I hadn't heard before. The movie started off beautifully with Kong, and he was coming through this waterfall, and visually, the visuals in this were brilliant. That was fantastic. I loved that part, and I remembered it from one of my trailer reactions. And there was this song, Over the Mountain, A Girl Waits for Me, or something along them lines. And I thought that was really fitting because we then seen the character Gia, which is the little girl. And I thought that was such a perfect fitting lyrical song to have added to the start of the movie. Over the Mountain, A Girl Waits for Me. And I have to talk about the connection between Gia, the little girl, and Kong, because that was truly so special and emotional. And the bond that they had, they were basically like family. And I was saying in one of my trailer reactions, I think that she's obviously from one of the tribes, from Skull Island. And I was correct. Of course, we pretty much knew that anyways. And he basically confided in her. She confided in him. They were like family, basically. And the only one that Kong would communicate with is her. Anything she would say, he would do. So at the end of the movie, when she was trying to say, literally his heart was slowing down and she could feel the vibrations. And she was trying to explain, Godzilla isn't the enemy. That's the enemy, MechaGodzilla. And there is no way that Kong would have got up with the pain and the state that he was in if it wasn't for that little girl, Gia, and his, always confiding in her and listening to her. He only done it. He only helped Godzilla and saved Godzilla basically because of this little girl Gia. And I thought that she had the biggest impact for me in this movie. Kong and Gia were my two favourite characters in this movie. I've heard people saying that they thought there was too much humans in this movie. Now, I'm not saying your opinion's wrong. Everybody has their right to their opinions. But I just want to say that I massively disagree with that, because Josh, Madison and Bernie, their story arc was, the whole, why is Godzilla doing all this? He must be being provoked. So they, crashed into the Apex facility, and they realized, okay, this is why Godzilla is being provoked, because they know Godzilla knows he's being replaced. And then they found out all about MechaGodzilla, and that was really funny. When I think it was it was Bernie said Robo-Godzilla or something like that, and then Josh was like, no, that's MechaGodzilla. But that was their side of the story. And Madison, who's played by Millie Bobby Brown, she was explaining all about you know, Ghidorah and the heads of the, you know, when they seen the skull of Ghidorah, the heads of Ghidorah. And I think that they were needed because obviously that's their story arc, you know, the whole MechaGodzilla, Ghidorah, Godzilla, why is he doing all this? Why was he provoked? And one thing I want to say is I think that if you have not seen the movie Godzilla King of the Monsters, never mind Skull Island for a second, if you haven't seen Godzilla King of the Monsters, I think that this movie could have been a bit confusing for a viewer, because when Madison was talking about the skull of Ghidorah and then you have this MechaGodzilla, you know, I'm not saying, like, I think anybody could watch it, okay? I could get my mum and dad to sit down and watch it and they would probably enjoy it. But I would probably kind of explain to them what happened in King of the Monsters. Does that make sense? Now, I said in my trailer reactions all along that I think what's going to happen is Godzilla and Kong are going to beat the crap out of each other, and then at the end they're going to team up to help defeat MechaGodzilla. And that was fairly obvious for any viewer of Godzilla King of the Monsters, and when we knew this was coming out, and especially going off the first trailer. And I was obviously right in saying that. Now, when it got towards the end and Kong's heart was sort of slowing down, I'm not going to lie, I was almost crying. I was like, no, no. But I knew that he was going to get back up again, and the little girl was like, come on, please, please, help him, pretty much. And something that I noticed, which was super cool of the director to do, was MechaGodzilla in Hong Kong, you know, the retro city scenes, which were visually super cool because, oh, I love all retro stuff, you know. Give me some retro, like fuchsia pinks, purples, greens, retros. In Hong Kong, the retro city scenes were so cool. Basically, MechaGodzilla was about to kill Godzilla, similar to the way Godzilla killed Ghidorah. And I thought that was really, really cool. And I think that I loved so much the fact that this movie was geared wavered for Kong, basically. And in one of the featurettes I reacted to, Adam Wingard, the director, did say that he was Team Kong. So once I heard him say Team Kong, it was fairly obvious. And he did say that the whole inspiration behind the movie was because him and his friend used to have this argument who would win in a fight, Godzilla or Kong. So that was his inspiration for this movie. Now, music-wise, the music score was great. We had sort of sci-fi-esque music going on when we had Kong, you know, the pathway leading to from Antarctica to Hollow Earth. I thought it was very sci-fi-esque, really, really liked it. And actually, sorry, backtracking a bit, I completely forgot to say that when I was saying about people saying about there being too much humans, we also had the other cast members like Gia, etc., etc., for Kong's arc. So we needed them. We needed that in the movie. And so I don't really understand. But anyways, basically at the beginning of the movie, you know, Kong was in containment in Skull Island, and then they took him to Antarctica, and visually that was absolutely stunning. That was one of my favourite scenes with Gia, where she turns around and you see his two eyes, and it was just beautiful. It was snowing. I love snow. And then with all his fur covered in snow and everything, and she's going home, and he's lifting up the snow, and he done it twice. He lifted up the snow twice and dropped it as if like, no, this isn't home. And that literally hectic freaking well broke my heart, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. But going back to the music, right, at the end of the film, now if you live in the United Kingdom and you have seen the advert of the gorilla where he bangs the drums, and it's a Dairy Milk chocolate advert, and it's Phil Collins. I can see it coming in the air tonight, oh Lord, and I was waiting for this moment for all my life. That is one of the most famous adverts. This big gorilla, and he's sitting and he's banging away at the drums, and when you get the top 100 adverts on the TV, that comes up. And I think anybody who lives in like Scotland, Wales, Ireland, anywhere, if they had played that song at the very end, just saying, if I had been friends with Adam Wingard, the director, I'd have said to him, Trust me. Put that song in, because that's a super famous advert. Type in on Google, guys, "In the Air Tonight Gorilla advert," and let me know. Visuals as well. The Antarctica, I absolutely loved. Hollow Earth, when he was in Hollow Earth, and the vibrant purples of the rock, and when he touched the rock, and then, you know, because everything's sort of like upside down, and when he jumps, he's obviously jumping, you know, the other way, opposite way around. Like, I found that super cool, and we had the sci-fi music going there. All the retro scenes in Hong Kong. Now, one thing I will say is I think that could have went a little bit longer, and I think the longevity of this movie could have went a little bit longer, and I wouldn't be complaining if I think they could have went an extra 15 to 20 minutes. To me, a 7.5 out of 10 is fantastic. Like, I had a fun ride. I absolutely loved this movie. Loved all the fight scenes. The water scenes were absolutely spectacular. You know, the big tail of Godzilla going across the ships, and then Kong's big massive hand coming up, going onto the ship, and then spitting out all the water. So many visually amazing scenes, and everything looks so real, you know, and they didn't overpack the CGI to the point where it was just, whoa, I'm not following this story here, there's too much CGI. There was nothing like that. And then Kong, when he had his big finger and he was going like that, and all the blue tints and tones, and the rain and everything falling, just showing us just how big both of these characters are. Talk about favourite parts of this movie. For me was all the water scenes on the boats, and I absolutely loved when they let Kong off the chains and he was underneath the water and he headbutted Godzilla, and he didn't just kick him on the head once, but he kicked him twice. He kicked him twice. And I know everybody's saying, oh, it was Godzilla 1, 2 to 3 or whatever. No matter what anybody says, I'm sorry. But yes, Godzilla did beat the crap out of Kong, but Kong did beat the crap quite a lot out of Godzilla. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. And I loved when Kong ripped MechaGodzilla's head and he held it up like, yay, prize. I absolutely loved that. And I also loved when Kong was fighting the warbats. As sad as it was to see, you know, when the wing was wrapped around his head, visually that was absolutely fantastic. And I there's just so many favourite moments. I loved also as well when he was sitting with his axe. I loved when he picked it up, by the way, but when he was sitting with his axe on what looked like a throne, because he deserves to sit on what looks like a throne. And it was like, he was just like the king that he really is. I want to end this by talking about the funny moments. Okay, when Gia called Nathan a card, and she sign language card, and then the girl that the director put in there to completely just dump on and make fun of the whole way through, that was absolutely hilarious. And they were like, why don't we just dump the monkey? And they were like, well, why don't we just throw you in instead, love? And then when she was in the aerial heave, Kong just like smashed, and it just like went in flames and killed her. That was absolutely hilarious. It was like, yeah, love, no one likes you in this movie. Bye bye. And at first he looked at her with one eye in the aerial heave that she was in. That was absolutely hilarious. And what I want to say before I end this is the little girl Gia that was in this movie, this was actually the first movie that she was ever in. She's never starred in any other movie, and she is actually deaf in real life. So I don't know, it had even more of an emotional weight for me knowing that. And Adam Wingard had nothing but good things to say about her in the featurette that I reacted to. He was saying she was so professional. And so yeah, I just thought that would be a fun fact in case anybody didn't know that. Gia, the little girl, isn't that hard to believe. Like, she did so amazing in this movie. You would not think this was her first role, and she is actually deaf in real life. And you know what, I hope she gets a lot more roles. She was absolutely adorable. Her and Kong were both my favourites in this movie. This movie had so much going on. It had heroism because Kong saved everyone. You know, and Godzilla just sort of like at the end with respect was like, you know what, Kong, we're fine, we're cool, dude, I'm going to give you respect, I'm going to walk away because you saved me, you know, you saved me. We had heroism, because Kong is a hero. Hashtag Kong is a hero, right? We had emotion, massive emotion. We had a fun ride. We had so much amazing fighting action scenes between Kong and Godzilla. And I had a real adrenaline rush watching this movie. I've actually watched the movie twice. I watched it on the 31st and then I watched it again yesterday. And I want to quickly say that I was very disappointed because the reason this is up so late is because I have a copyright strike on my channel. And I'm not allowed to live stream, which I didn't know this. And me and two other friends from America had actually been trying to set up a live stream so that we could come in and talk about this movie in depth. But that didn't actually get to happen because I ended up looking further into my YouTube settings, and I realized that I couldn't live stream because I had a copyright strike. So I was a bit gutted, but the only other option was for me to come on and do my review on my own. So I don't think I'm allowed to live stream now until August. So if anybody's wondering why I don't live stream, and why I won't live stream till like August or September or what have you, it is because I have a copyright strike. Because the whole plan was to start doing a lot of my videos as live streams, like pretty much, if not like 80-90% of my videos as live streams, but I can't now. So apologies guys, but that's it. I had to attend copyright school as well. Yeah, that was a funny thing. Yeah, that's actually a thing. That is literally a thing. I had to attend copyright school and answer all these questions, and I got every single question right. So proud of myself. Anyways guys, I loved this movie and Kong was my favorite. And oh my gosh, when he was coming through the waterfall and when he was walking through Skull Island and scratching himself, and oh, I just love Kong. Anyways guys, I hope that you enjoyed my review. This is my honest review. And one thing I will say as a little nitpick, I think the retro part in Hong Kong, I think they could have tweaked it a little bit better. And I don't get me wrong, I loved all the fluorescent colours and everything, but I just think in some certain moments when like they were crashing into buildings and pieces were falling and stuff, I kind of think they could have tweaked the effects a little bit better so that the pieces fell a bit better. And it sounds so nickety pickety, so that's not what I'm taking points off for at all. I'm just saying that if I had to like really like think of something, but that's not why I took any marks off. But I would have loved to have seen an extra 15 to 20 minutes. I feel like we could have got that. And I also feel that going off the trailer, seeing the retro city scenes in Hong Kong, that we'd kind of seen most of it from all the trailers and TV spots. So I was a bit disappointed that we didn't get a longer scene in that sense. I think the retro scenes in Hong Kong, we could have got an extra, come on, like even 8 minutes, 10 minutes. But that's just me saying. And it ended with my favourite character, Kong. Anyways guys, this was my review. Drop all your comments down below. I can't wait to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and until my next video, take care and I will speak to you soon guys. Bye.